Uh,
Oh,
all right, we're going. What's up, dude? John Roseboro.
what's so funny?
Oh, just me making a fool. uh, Getting it. Okay, what's up, dude? How's it
What's
going?
up, brother? Good to see your face and hear your voice and
It
be
is
here
really,
with you.
for real. It's really good to be here with you. This is the first time I've gotten to talk to you face to face. I think aside from maybe an Instagram live or two.
Yeah, once upon a time we got to chit chat on Instagram Live. Maybe once or twice maybe.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and that was definitely a good experience, a highlight of my time here.
That's cool. You're in Los Angeles right now.
Yeah, I'm in Southern California, up and down the coast,
Cool.
and yeah, really am.
That's awesome, man. When I met you, well, I've never met you face to face. I've wanted to, um, but when I first met you, it was on Facebook, probably like 10 years ago or something
Mm,
crazy like that. Um, and you were living in Virginia, I think,
yeah, I was in Virginia
making music under the name Stray Kites.
making folk music.
And I was a huge fan of Stray Kites. I was like a super fan.
How huge? How huge?
I thought I was pretty huge. I mean, I listened to y'all's music a lot. So you had your first album, which is what I first got into. And I would listen to that a lot. And then you put out was Mew the next one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
if you listen to the first, yeah, you are a super fan. Because
yeah. You took it down eventually, but I had it downloaded, so I got to hang on to it on my
nice.
iPod.
I would kind of like it if it was still up. I think it's up on YouTube. I think like people have put Stray Kites on YouTube, but
Is it really?
I don't
I gotta
manage
check
that.
that out because I lost my iPod, or I lost all my MP3s.
Mm.
Who knows what happened to me? Let's check this out. Stray Kites. Well, that's funny that you say you wish it was still up because for my whole time of knowing you, I've always am desperately trying to download music before you take it down.
Oh yeah, that's right. I will. I tend to put it up and then I'm not feeling it anymore and I'll
Yeah,
get
right,
rid of it.
right. I feel the same way. Well, I keep stuff on like a Bandcamp link if people want to find it, but like I always am wanting to take stuff off Spotify. I get
Mm.
nervous because it seems so official, and I'm like, I don't even know if I want this on here anymore because I don't know if
What
I'm
what
allowed
are you
to.
what are you no longer feeling? What songs like if you had to be like this is embarrassing or I don't really want to have this up anymore. What song would you?
I'd probably take down both of my albums and just leave like all the full five now singles that I've put out in the last year.
Okay.
The albums like they're sweet to me, but I get self-conscious about them. I feel like they're not who I want to be. Um,
Really?
which I get that people can like still listen to them and enjoy them and also understand. Think like, oh, Freeze used to sound like this and now he sounds like this.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's like I want people to start this journey with me at Wisteria.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but people, every time I say that, people get upset with me. They're like, no, we love that album, or you know what I mean. People are really. No one has ever been like, you should do that.
Um,
So I feel like sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I'm just in my head. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I would consider you an emerging artist, would you?
I feel like I feel like wait, when you say emerging, you mean like you feel like I'm still rising tension? I haven't reached my peak yet.
Yeah.
Definitely. I hope that I never
Yeah.
do. I think I'm still every all the music I make, I still feel like I'm learning more and I'm like a step closer to the sound I want to make. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Do you feel like that too for yourself? I feel like all of when I listen to your two newest singles that are out on Spotify, I feel like they're this like they're everything I've known and heard from you. I feel like you're like continuing to
Really?
voyage forward. I feel like they're your best work yet. And I
I
hear a little bit of like past
appreciate
albums
that.
and stuff, but I don't know. Do you feel
I,
like you're an
as I
emerging
see it,
artist?
it's absolutely. I feel like I'm like the emerging artist. I have two songs, man. I'm blown away whenever anybody, they're not within arm's reach. I think they're in the next room. Whenever anybody buys like a record, maybe I've got something here. Whenever
You've got
anybody,
physicals?
yeah, like I've got these vinyls now. And let me show you.
I would love that, man.
I'd love to get you one because they're cool. They're so cool. Woman sounds amazing
Oh yeah.
on the wax. Yeah, I don't see one. I'm sorry to walk off like that, but yeah, I
You're
think
good.
they're actually. Oh, here's a test press. Here's a test press. They're just 7 inches, but as for me,
Oh,
this is like
love.
this is like a landmark
Oh,
in
it's
the
both.
career. It's both side A, side B.
Cool.
Wow.
That's awesome. That is a huge
And
landmark.
yeah, like I'm this, like I said, this is a test press. This is, oh my bad, right there. But like whenever anybody gets one, I'm like, okay, let me use my words. You hold my hand through this, okay?
Yes, let's do
Um,
it.
I uh I really love people. I really do, and I know you do too. Um, that being said, I don't trust people. Um, and maybe that's like an impolite way to say it, but I don't rely on. Um, I don't think people are very reliable. I don't think people like care about other people the way I do. I don't think people care about me the way I care about them. Um, and that sounds all sad or whatever, but I don't have trust issues. I don't hate people. Again, I love them, but my point is like, well, when someone buys like one of my records or something like that, it gives me so much confidence, and not just confidence, but like I've already got confidence, but it's like wow, they actually care about me, or at least what I'm doing, at least in a superficial way, enough to actually put some money behind what I'm doing.
For
It's
real.
it blows my mind. I'm like what? And I like purposely like didn't make a lot of them, and purposely like charged like a price for them, like that you
Yeah.
could afford, but like you're not gonna buy this if you don't give a crap about me. And like I'm saying, like, dude, 2 songs. I only have two songs, and I mean the momentum's crazy. I'm like the songs that are coming are gonna be wonderful. I'm so pumped for everything, but it's like I have 2 songs on this vinyl, side A, side B. I don't even know, maybe like 5 minutes of like audio. Um, but because of the
I like that.
experience and the personality, and I think my heart and what God's doing through me, I'm like I'm charging $20 for a freaking vinyl record. I'm like, Kid Cudi can't do that.
For real. That's
Kid
cool,
Cudi,
man.
Kid Cudi can't charge $20 for a 7 inch. Just saying, just saying.
It
Um,
is special, man. I know
it's
what you
special.
mean though. For real. I mean, I get a huge it means so much more to me that I think people realize when they send me a nice message about my new song or whatever. Like
Yeah,
because I mean, I'm really, really hard on myself, and I even, I think I feel like I relate to what you're saying because I love people so much, but I always doubt that they're gonna like care about me, or like especially my music. Like I'm like, they might listen to it once because they are my friend, but then
yeah.
when they actually just like are like, yo, like this song is really good, and I'm really enjoying this, and I'm like, wow, no way. Like it I had one person say that to me today, uh, and it made my entire day. You know what I mean? I still remember it. Like
Hmm.
I've been shining ever since. So
That's
it's just so
outstanding.
encouraging and that's so cool that you're getting to make
That's outstanding.
vinyl, dude. That's like that really
Yeah.
is just that's a dream. I've always dreamed of that since I started making music. That's been like a milestone that I'm still like hoping to get to one
For
day.
for me, it's a statement because it's like you can't make a vinyl if you don't like. It's like you can make some music and you can put it up on SoundCloud. You can say, "Here's my SoundCloud link," but
Yeah.
then obviously you're a little bit more serious if you put it up on Spotify, and you can listen to a mix and like, yeah, this is a good bounce. Let's put it up on Spotify. But it's a different thing to say. Like I just ask myself now. I say, is this good enough to be on vinyl? Like, do I want this? Do I like? Is there a real object permanence to this? Like, do I want this for? Do I believe in this for real? And it's like I can't. I mean, I paid for this, man.
Right.
You have to put money down, and it's like, and not even just money, but so much time and like care, so much time, so much care, brother. I was at Staples since 10 in the morning. And remember, I texted you. I said 10 more minutes, I'd be home. I was just leaving. I was at Staples all day.
Are you serious?
Yes.
What were you doing?
Um, getting the materials that I need to make these vinyls, because it's like a completely do-it-yourself effort. And I honestly have done it the most impractical way. But in that way, it's more sentimental. I really put myself behind it a lot, and I'm just saying that, yeah, it's a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. You ever see a play? Have you ever seen the Phantom of the Opera or like Les Mis or anything like
For
that?
sure, yeah.
And you see the Phantom like fly across the stage or fly, and it's just a spectacle. It's very pleasing, and
Yeah.
both aesthetically and existentially. But you know what it's like behind the scenes? It's a bunch of dudes and wife beaters pulling levers. They're all fast and like, with their ropes, and they're throwing the rope and they're like moving around. It's a
Right.
behind the scenes. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, for real, man. You just reminded me that you just reminded me of something that I totally forgot, which is that I've been getting into painting recently.
Yes.
You are the one who inspired me to want to like paint album covers. I remember
Yeah.
back with Stray Kites, you were, at least with you, I believe, you made that album cover. You painted
I
it.
painted that. I did paint that. Yeah.
And you did a lot of paintings that you would post on y'all's Facebook page, if I remember
I don't
correctly.
remember that, but yeah, I painted. When I stopped smoking weed,
Yeah,
I had more time and more money, and yeah, I painted. I painted pictures.
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I remember my band in high school. We would get from like, I remember worried by them, somewhere like Staples. We'd get these like cardboard CD slips made of like reusable material, and we would paint our album covers ourselves. Like every single one was different. And
Whoa.
I think I got that from you. Just the idea of like, if I make this really just handmade, like that was the first time that I recognized that that would actually be an advantage. Like that would actually be something that was made it more sentimental, because before then I just thought this needs to look as professional as possible.
Yeah.
And then realizing actually it just, when you make something that's one of a kind, that's even more special
Yeah.
than it being like this perfectly printed material. So I definitely got that idea from you of making physical art that like went alongside the music.
Yeah.
Do you
That's
make
outstanding.
did you make the album covers like Love and Woman, the two singles you've got this singles you've got
I
on Spotify,
I painted woman. I painted woman myself.
which is behind
Uh,
you?
yeah, that painting's behind me. Yeah. I'm in the garage. I'm in the garage because, all the best businesses start in garages. So
Yeah, you're gonna be a CEO one day.
I'm CEO right now.
That's
Uh,
that's true.
um, but
That's cool,
yeah.
man. So I have a question about. Well, can we go through a little bit of the story, of your story, like starting from Stray Kites to present? Because I've been following you this whole time, but I haven't always known what you've been up to. There've been times I thought I might have lost John Roseboro forever. I don't know where he is anymore. I don't know how to contact this
Okay.
man anymore.
Holes in the narrative.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you put out Mew. Is that 2013?
I
Is that
believe
right?
so.
That's what I was thinking. So after that album, the band Stray Kites, which was you and one of your friends from Virginia. What was his name?
Max Dietrich.
Max
Max,
Dietrich.
yeah.
Does he still live in Virginia?
As far as I understand, he lives in Virginia. Um, I think he might have graduated from VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University. He has a rock and roll band where he
That's
plays
awesome.
guitar, electric guitar.
That's cool. Can I ask you a question about Stray Kites? Can we talk about that for a second?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm here for it.
Cool. So, you, when I think I found you because you messaged me. You were just messaging people on Facebook, being like, "I think you should check out. You know, if you're interested, you should check out my music." And I took you up on it. Which I'm so glad I did. And I still do. Like, if people message me, I'll still listen to their music, but I'm probably a little bit more jaded now. And I could be like, oh, someone's messaging. Like, you know what I mean? Just like the internet, there's more
Oh yeah, for
stuff.
sure.
Um, but back then I was even, you know, and still. But yeah, anyway, following you, I was really, really impressed by your music. Like, you're an amazing songwriter. Um, your instrumentation was just like really unique. I guess so. I have a bunch of questions. One is just like, what happened before then? Like, have you always been playing music? Have you always been making art? Because it feels like those albums, it already was coming to you naturally. It felt like it was just this intuitive, creative thing going on.
Um, yeah, I mean, I picked up guitar in Texas. I lived next to, well, my family. I'm a military family, so we moved around
Okay.
every 2 years, every 2 or 3 years. Had to start over. And when we were stationed in Texas, I happened to live next to a young man named Vincent Valdez, and his dad was a businessman, and his mother had divorced his dad, but he lived with his dad. Um, my point is that he was an interesting person, and not a lot of people have that kind of background where their parents are divorced, but they live with their dad. Not a
Right.
lot of not a lot of people are like that, and I think because of that, he really turned out um, a really cool guy. He was the coolest kid in school, and he like baptized me and everything. Cool. He taught me how to skate. You know, taught me how to play guitar. Um, I wouldn't say he taught me everything I know, but he definitely introduced me to these things. And you know, I asked for a guitar for Christmas like anybody else, and just started playing alone. And
Cool.
I never did anything, um, that anybody else really wouldn't do. I just did it probably
Hmm.
longer and harder and smarter, and yeah, I just had a knack, I guess. Yeah.
That's cool. So, what city were you in Texas? First off,
San Antonio.
San Antonio. Cool, cool, cool. Wow, that's awesome. I've actually never played there. I had a show booked there. They got canceled because of COVID. I've always wanted to play San Antonio. Seems like a really special city.
It is.
When did you move to Virginia then? At what age?
Um, I don't remember, but shortly after, maybe I was
Teenage?
oh, absolutely. Yeah. Maybe I was 16, and
Cool.
then yeah, 16, 17.
And that's when you met and started Straight Kites?
Mhm. I went to two different schools actually. I went to one school, and then my parents moved again, and I went to a different school. Yeah.
Cool. Which one did Max go to?
The second one, it was called the school. What was the school called? Broad Run.
Broad Run.
Yeah.
So Max is a percussionist. Um,
Yeah.
the music itself, both of those albums is like it's got a lot of guitar, and then like bells,
Mhm.
and I don't know. Would you call it like twee? Like definitely like something that
Yeah.
was kind of happening in indie music back in maybe 2012 to 2015, like right before the folk movement really like took off. At least from my perception, like bands like the Avid Brothers are kind of on the rise. But then there's also this like indie movement of like a lot of indie bands are playing with acoustic guitars and using like glockenspiels and stuff.
Yeah, that was a thing for
And
sure.
that's what I was making too, um, inspired by you and inspired by other bands doing that. Were there any bands in particular that like got you into that sound that you guys were making at the time?
The only bands I really listened to at that time were the Dodos and Los Campesinos.
Whoa, cool. I gotta look both of those up. The Dodos.
The Dodos are a really amazing band,
And
and Los Campesinos also. That's the only thing I was listening to at that time.
wow, cool. So you're back then your uh vocal songwriting, like you would say a ton during your songs. It was like each song would just be could be like paragraphs. Like you had a lot to say.
Yeah.
I always thought that was really cool. And then so I was really into and I was turning everybody onto y'all's music, and it seemed like right before after that album is when you guys disbanded. I believe there was never an album after Mew.
No, not a proper one, unfortunately. Um, things we had a lot of momentum.
Yes.
We had a lot of momentum. I remember speaking with a record label. I remember getting offers to play shows out of the state and at colleges and everything like this. Um, and I would show Max. And the thing is, this is what it was. And times have changed a little bit. Um, I was Stray Kites. Max was my friend, and he didn't really want to even make that kind of music. He was a fan of like the Foo Fighters and like Green Day and stuff like that. He was just somebody who I knew. I mean, he's my friend, but he was one of my friends who knew how to play percussion, who loved and liked me enough to play with me, you know, at house shows around town or wherever, and saw my momentum and my vision and was happy to help that make that happen for me. And um, he was a great partner. But I think a fatal flaw in that I always presented us as a band. Um, when it was my music, and
For sure.
I presented us as a band because it gives you maybe some social credit. Like it's a little bit. It's like I don't know. It's cooler to say at least at the time. At least at the time, it would be better to say, oh, I'm in a band, than oh, I make music alone. Now things have changed a bit. There's a lot of solo artists, but at
Yeah.
the time, at least, um, I guess it was all about being a band. I didn't want to like just put myself out there like just me, you know, and just carry that weight. Um,
Yeah, for sure. I think things have changed since then with like um just everyone having laptops that they can make music on. It's become more popular, I think, to make solo music. I at least gather that. But at the same time I will say when I meet strangers, sometimes I accidentally present Nordista Freeze as a band when it's
mhm.
just me, just because I like in that moment might just get nervous or just think like that it would be more advantageous for me to be like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, I'm in a band and we make music, because it just gives
it's
me more
like
swagger.
it's social validation. It's like these people say that I'm
Mhm,
all right, so you should say I'm all right. You know.
totally. And
Um,
when I get out of the van with like six other people, I feel unstoppable. Like when all seven of us get out of the van
yeah.
on tour, it's like, oh yeah, we're doing something. It is there's something to that for sure. And maybe times have changed a little bit. So I did want to mention what you said, which is notably, you guys, I would have loved your music either way. But I remember you were gaining momentum at kind of an unbelievable rate. I mean, I was like, whoa, this dude is taking off.
Same
And
as right now.
and same as you are right now.
Same as right now, man.
Yeah, wait, same as right now for you?
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, I'll say it again. Same as right now. I'm just
Okay,
saying, it's like I'm like slow it down, you know.
that's cool. I mean, your new music is insanely good.
Thanks.
And I have always believed fully, endlessly in you. I don't can't even explain why. I've like literally think about you, and I thought I'd never see you again. I was like, this dude from Facebook is gone now, but I just hope I can hear from him again one day. Was it hard? Or I guess what inspired you moving to move the conversation beyond straight guys? What inspired you to put that to rest, especially with gaining momentum with it? I mean, was it hard to like?
Oh, it wasn't my idea. It was like I said, we were talking to like a record label, and it seemed cool, but one, record labels are kind of shady. Um, at least I don't know. I think people are shady, and that's the real problem. It's not record labels.
Hmm,
It's people. But um,
yeah.
basically, Max was going to university. That's all, and so we wouldn't be able to come together the way we were. That's it. You know, he was going to school. Nor did he really want to make that kind of music the rest of his life. You know, he was into rock music.
And since it wasn't, it was like if he's not going to be a part of it, it's over.
Yeah, I could no longer present. I can't make Stray Kites music anymore because half of the band is gone, right? Even though in reality the entire band is still there. You know, for presentation purposes, it's over. You know.
Right. So from that point, and maybe like I remember being in high school right before I graduated. Um, I thought I might not hear from you again, and I got a Facebook message from you, and you said like, I just want you to know I'm still alive. Like you sent me a link to a song that I don't think was even out yet, and I
Really?
was like, John is back. I was like, I remember showing it. I was in class, but I was in computer class, so we're all on laptops, and I'd like had Facebook pulled up in a second browser. I don't know. I was just goofing, and I was like, I remember listening to your song in class and being like, dude, this rules. And then I went like the next day, listened to it again, and it was gone. And I was like, no, I missed it. Should have downloaded this.
That's
Now
funny.
it's too late.
Yeah.
And then I remember you also putting out some music around then, and I thought, and I've mentioned this to you once before on Instagram Live, but I thought that you had become satanic. I
Oh,
realized
yeah.
like you put out this album, and it might have been tautologies, if that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the way that you presented it, I remember you were talking a lot about spiritualism, and like it felt really dark. And I was like, this dude has gone to the darkest point. He's entered into the gates of hell to make this record. um, I don't know if that's true at all,
You
but
want me to confirm or deny? Is that a question?
I think it is a question, especially in context of who I know you are now in your story now, and I know, which we can talk about as much as you want to, but like I know there's a lot of light in your life now, so
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if
absolutely.
those two things, like if that was a journey or if I just misunderstood.
Oh, I mean that's usually what I think. Um, for a lot of sincerely um, good-souled people and people who just know God, they tend to get acquainted with the devil first. Um, in some ways, he's closer.
Mm.
um, in some ways, and well, yeah, it was a dark record. I think that one is still up. I
It
think it was
is.
taken down and it was put up. I think that one's up. I like it. I like parts of it. I like that it's still up. I'm not gonna take it down off of Facebook. I'm not gonna put it up. Or well, not Facebook, Bandcamp. It's on the Bandcamp. I think it has its merits. It's an important time in my life. I like not everything, about that time in my life, but it's a time capsule, and it's important to remember where you came from.
Totally. I think that when you say it like that, it makes me want to keep more on music up. When I think that people can understand it as like a story or like,
Mhm.
and I know people can, but yeah. So were you when you made that album? Were you still in Virginia? So from then until present, the only thing I know is that you were living in a cave at one point.
I was living in a cave.
It's the only thing I
Um,
know for like about 4 years, and then until you messaged me one time and told me you I don't know how you had my number, but you texted me and told me you were in Los Angeles like a couple years ago.
yeah, and
I
I
freaked
liked your
out.
record.
Yeah, and that you'd heard Cosmic House. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. It was like right when I was certain so that I would never hear from you again. A couple years had gone by, and you were like, "God is good. I'm in LA now, or maybe not LA, but you say Southern California." Um, and from then on, I've been able to get a little bit more,
Mhm.
get to know you a little bit better. But
Yeah, it's been good.
did you go from Virginia? Is that when you went to spend some time in the cave?
What happened is, yeah, I lived in Virginia. Um, a lot happened. I don't really know where to start the story, but um, I didn't go to college. Um, I just saw it as a scam. I mean, I still do, for the most part. It's a scam. Um, but there are benefits, like, anything that has its merits. Nevertheless, I didn't go, because my parents, they sat me down and said, well, what do you want to do? And like anyone else, I know you're supposed to say, I'm going to college, and they said, good answer. You're good. Like it's Family Feud, good answer. Um, and then they say, well, what are you going to school for? I said, music or philosophy, because those are the only things that I was into. And they were like disappointed in me. And well, they said, well, if you do that, we're not going to help you. And I was like, all right, because I didn't even want to go to college anyways. But I kind of wanted some freedom, to live my life, right? And I thought that I might get more freedom by going tens of thousands of dollars in debt for a couple of years. I don't know, in my convoluted mind, I just thought that maybe if I just like went into, indentured servitude for the rest of my life, that I just might, maybe meet some people and it would be okay. But point is that I didn't, and I didn't make music for a while. I just moved out. I actually got kicked out. I got kicked out of my house. Well, kicked out of my parents' house, and I lived with a friend from high school, who got a full ride scholarship, um, to South Carolina South Carolina University, SCU. But he dropped out, and I lived with him. And while I lived with him, I studied philosophy and psychology and different kinds of spirituality, and eventually kind of came back to where I am now. And soon enough, I wound up living in the Midwest in a cave, um, just to get closer to God. It was a good time, and I ate, what we could grow. I had friends. I lived in the cave alone, but I made friends, right? And who farmed and did good work in the community, redistributed food and clothes and that kind of thing. A lot of humanitarian type of stuff. But I lived in the cave, and I was there for not a whole year, at least 6 months. But time is different when you live like that. time is much different when you live like that. A day goes by quite fast in the city, but there, it's just a different. It's like it's weird. It's really really strange, and I loved it. It was one of the best times of my life. Yeah.
Wow, how long did you say you were there?
We'll say 6 months, maybe a bit longer.
And do you know what city or what area?
Yeah. It was in Missouri.
Whoa, like southern Missouri.
Um, I'm not sure. I think Western Missouri.
How'd you end up in that cave?
There's a lot of caves in Missouri, and I lived in an RV in when I got displaced, um, in Virginia. I bought an RV, and I lived in an RV, and it was awesome. I thought it was great. I was so grateful. I bought an RV and I lived in that. Um, but when it was just time to go, I didn't want to be there anymore. I didn't think I was supposed to be there anymore, so I did. Not, I didn't burn any bridges or anything like that. It was just like I'm done here. Maybe it was a hangover from being a military child and moving all the time. But I was like, it's time for me to go, and I just drove, and eventually my RV broke down in Missouri, and I just went as west as I could and broke down and basically crash landed in Missouri, and they've got lots of caves, and so I parked my cave or I parked my RV in a cave.
Whoa. Oh, that's so cool. I have a picture on my phone of the cave that I look at sometimes. That you posted on Instagram one time. Um,
And then deleted it.
yeah, luckily I took a screenshot. Um, when you with there, you and about there's maybe three people in my life, um, who when they post things, I always just screen grab it because I never know when they're gonna take it down, and I'm always dying to know more. So wow. Okay. So you were basically, yeah, heading west, and then that's just you. That's as far as you made it, and you were like, well, let's just stay here for a while. Do you know what year that was?
No,
That's cool.
two,
Sometime between
two,
2016 and 2020.
yeah, maybe 2000, maybe 2008, 17.
Yeah, I think something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so at that point, what were you thinking about music? Because I know you mainly I know you because of your music, and I think of you as a music artist. That's the
Yeah.
identity or the context I know you. So I'm just curious, were you still thinking about making music then, or did you have any instruments?
I had a guitar that a lovely woman, a lovely saint gave me right before I left. This beautiful woman had so many spiritual practices that I had never seen anyone before or since have. One of them, besides her, she was very hospitable, so she'd always have people in and out of her house. But something that she would do is she would buy things and just keep them. She would buy nice things, um, and they would just be at her house, and then she would have people in her house or whatever, and basically be like, let's say you come over, she sees you somewhere, and like you guys have a good conversation, and then she'd be like, hey, come over after work or something like that, and you come over after work, why not? This old lady ain't gonna kill me, right? And then you wind up there, and she's like, I'm slightly surprised you came, but she makes you some food, and while she's making food and you guys are talking, she says, she sees your eye like catch some like leather jacket, and she says, try it on, and you try it on, and you're looking in the mirror in the dining room, and you look good. It actually fits you perfectly, and it's a couple $100 leather jacket, but you know well, what is she gonna wear it? And you're about to take it off, and she says, keep it, and you're like, American, so you say, oh no, I'm not gonna keep it. You know what I mean? Like, and she's like, no, like keep it, right? And then right when you leave, and you eat the food, and you're like gonna accidentally leave it on the couch. She's like, "Oh, don't forget your jacket," and you get this jacket, and boom, something like just like that happened to me. Um, Except it was a guitar, and it was a nylon string guitar, and I wrote some great songs on that guitar. I ended up giving it away to one of my best friend out here in California. Um, but
That's
yeah, I had
perfect.
some songs. I had some songs right before I left, and while I was gone. That's when my music changed too.
Yes, your music has changed in some ways, and I would, it's changed in a nylon kind of way.
Yeah,
You playing is you're playing nylon on your new album or your new songs, right?
yeah, yeah. All nylon.
Well, you've always been an amazing guitar player, though. You've always played things that I have no idea how to play. Your songwriting ability and your guitar playing ability is something that feels very organic and is hard to replicate, at least personally, from a mediocre guitar player such as me.
You're better than me. Stop. Like,
No, I'm not better than you. The only time I tried to show you how to play with stereo, I just went into music theory and then got carried away. But I still want to teach you with stereo if you still want to learn it.
oh,
But
most definitely.
I would love that. That's cool. So you were writing songs in the cave? You had your guitar there with you?
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I would um yeah, I don't know. My music just it just one day it just changed. I woke up and one day I just wrote this song and it was a lot different than everything else I had written before. It was not folk, it was like a bit jazzy and it was a bit like sexy. And I had a friend, a good brother, and he had a little daughter. Um, Maybe she was 2 years old. The good thing about 2 year olds is that they are old enough to really interact. You know, they have their own personality, and you can communicate with them. They're babies, but they're not. Well, you know what I mean. Point is, I would play for her. I would play for her and see if she danced. Um, and that's how I kind of solidified what I'm doing now,
That's
musically.
cool.
Yeah.
I said your music sounds like it, like I can hear you in all of the projects I've heard by you, but it is very different. I guess it's just
Thank you.
that when you're a fan of somebody, you can always hear them inside their music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes sense. But it is a lot different than the music you were making. When did you decide to call it quits? In terms of living in Missouri, when did you, and how did you make it the rest of the way?
Um, what I think while I was living in Virginia, um, it's when Instagram was very, 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 very new. Um, I remember I this is a funny story. Um, this is the story of how I met my wife. Um,
Yes.
yes. So it's a true story. And not a lot of people know it, but um, I, like a lot of young men, was like addicted to porn and stuff like that. Um, and when I no longer not only wanted to be, but was no longer addicted, like I'm not. That's disgusting, you know. I remember I was praying a prayer, not like all crunched up on the floor like this or something, but I was like standing up, talking to God like I'm talking to you, just like I'm so pumped like for life, and I'm just like I don't like need to see another woman ever. Period. Like I just love you. Like I love you, and life is cool. And I'm just grateful. I could be. with you the forever. It does nothing matters. And as soon as I had finished praying that prayer, um, I was on Instagram and I guess it must have been the explore page. I guess I see this picture, this beautiful girl, um, and I just like saw her picture, and I knew like as much as I'm talking to you, I like knew as much as you know you're talking to me and I'm talking to you. All right, I knew that she was going to kill herself. Okay, plot twist, right? You thought I was gonna say something else.
I did.
Um, no, I knew she was gonna like kill herself, and it wasn't a sad picture. She looked happy in the picture. She had like a rose in her mouth, and it was like just a cute photo. But I was like, this girl's gonna kill herself, and I was just kind of like, what am I gonna do with that information? You know, like what do you do with like if you just knew that, like if you just psychically knew that, what are you supposed to do now? And I didn't know. That never happened to me before. And I just like they had like literally just came out with direct messaging. Like that came out like the day before, okay? And I just messaged her and I think I just sent her like a picture of myself and like a peace sign emoji or a wave or something, you know? And like that's it, right? And like I tried, I guess, and she whatever. And I tried, but I put myself out there. I didn't know what to do. Anyways, we she she said actually that she was going to ignore it, but but actually she didn't, obviously, and we got into a dialogue, and I wasn't like don't kill yourself or anything like that. I was just like talking. I was just talking to her like a regular person, and just showing her that I cared about her, right? And yeah, we built a rapport and eventually started talking on the phone and video chat. And I was kind of coaching her through just like just stuff. We just became, internet friends. But she was bringing me down. She wasn't. She like just spiritually in my soul. Like it was not. I didn't think it was like a. It wasn't a good um like foundation for a relationship. I thought because um of like but I guess both of our like immaturity, and I knew that like it was kind of like if I have to choose between this girl and like Jesus or something, it's a no-brainer. um and so one of these days eventually I told her that basically what I just told you, and I'm like, yeah, we can't really keep talking, like, you know I think this is done, right? And it wasn't even ever romantic, it was just like, at least from my perspective, um, it was just kind of like bye. And that really bothered her. Um, I like to think that it was because she could see that I was a unique person, um, and wanted to stay in my life, but um, she was like, no, like she was like, no, don't go, basically, and was like, tell me about Jesus then, and so I did, and yeah, she'd never met anybody, and a lot of people in California haven't actually ever heard about Jesus, and it wasn't a joke.
Right.
The Midwest is a little different, um, but yeah, that's what that was. Um,
Wow. So y'all kept talking.
we kept talking until I basically moved to Missouri, and then like we talk every like now and then on the phone. We're just you know um, like friends. We just talk every now and then. But what ended up happening is her sister uh, got really sick. Oh, let me tell you this, because this is just I think this is just a God glorifying story. Because what ended up happening is that yeah, she lets me talk about whatever. We we're good friends. But in the course of our talking, she actually tells me how she has a horrible disease called ITP. Um, and well, it's obviously a abbreviation for something. But basically, what it is internal bleeding, constant internal bleeding. She would bruise so easily if she wore a shirt or a bra or a belt, or if you just like pushed her hand in, so many capillaries would burst, and blood vessels would just burst. She was very just a delicate person. If she got a paper cut, she could bleed out. She had no platelets. Platelets are what coagulate your blood. They make your blood thick, and so let's say she got wisdom teeth surgery. She could very well bleed out and die. Um, and that's how I responded. I was like, that's horrible.
Yeah.
But more than that, and I don't know if I'd respond like this now, but I'm glad I did. At the time, I heard her say that, and I said, "That's the devil, dude." I was just like, "No way! Like that's horrible." I was like, that's like that's satanic or something." I was like, "That's not cool, right?" Like, I mean, it's kind of like that's not good, you know. And so I said, we're gonna lick that right now. I said, just hold your phone. I'm gonna pray for you through the phone. That wasn't even video chat. I just like in my room, got on my face and just started like praying, and she was healed from then on. Um, Literally, she has my baby. You understand that she'd be dead. You hear about people that have a baby and like they die. She would definitely be one of those people. If she wouldn't have, yeah. I mean, um, yeah, she
Are
was
you
healed.
serious?
I'm so serious. Yeah.
Man.
After that, that's when she actually believed what I was saying about Jesus, and actually, wanted to actually learn for herself and that sort of thing. But to answer your question,
Wow.
I know this was a long answer, but
No, it's
but
incredible.
to answer your question, what ended up happening is I was in Missouri, and one of these days she ended up calling me and telling me how her sister was very, very sick, and I of course, I prayed for her sister, but her sister was very sick, and then after she um, was also healed, miraculously, actually, um, um, I wanted to go visit. I wanted to visit her, and I wanted to visit her sister, and help her sister to be uh, mature and to have good judgment, and to not like slip into a lot of the things that she'd slipped into before, or get her you know right-minded and baptized uh, in and out. So actually, kind of randomly, I still can't really explain it. Her mom, I didn't even ask her mom, and neither did my wife. But their mother um, sent me on a flight to California. It was like around Christmas time, and just completely unprompted. Okay, she's like, "Hey, that guy you like talked to on the phone, and you've been talking to him for like a couple years, and she said, why don't we bring him out like for like Christmas? Like, wouldn't that be cool? Like, he's one of your friends, right? And like, and I think she knew that I was like more than like her like one of her friends, because her mother had kind of seen her like her whole life and personality and demeanor go from like literally suicidal to like um not like very much not and kind of knew, I guess, that I was a part of that. So for some reason, I mean, I'm speculating, but for some reason she wanted to have me come out that Christmas time, and it also just happened to be the time that I wanted to go out to go, help her sister. And point is, I ended up staying out here. I left for a little bit after we had gotten married, but I came back, and we've set up camp. We live here now.
Wait, so when you got that opportunity to come for Christmas, were you still living in Missouri?
Yeah, my RV was still there. All my stuff was still there.
So
I
you
just
packed up and came and never went back.
yeah.
The RV is still there?
No. After I got married, I went back to my RV, and animals had broken in, and it was pretty thrashed. Also,
Wow.
also, I met someone. What was his name? Dan. I don't remember his last name, but if I could remember his last name, you would be able to Google him. He's got so many felonies and so many just charges against him. I found him living in a cave,
Well,
and
close to your cave?
yeah, real close. Yeah, I found him, and he was living in a cave, and his cave was pretty decked out, though, to be honest. He didn't have an RV, but he wanted mine, and he told me he'd give me like a couple $1,000s for it or something, and I said, here's the keys, and he
Wow.
just took it, and he didn't never pay me.
Oh, are you serious?
Oh, so serious.
Were you upset
Um,
about that, or was that just how it went?
like I mean, that's life. You know, say I love you, right?
Say I love you.
What really bothered me was that he never put in his name. So like months later, I'm getting like some like tax stuff and whatever, and I was like, bro, I'm like talking to the DMV people. I'm like, this was stolen like months ago. Um, can like you not? Can you not, please?
Right.
Yeah.
That's wild. So, wow, that's okay. That's crazy. So when you went out there for Christmas, I guess I was probably December 2017, maybe.
Yeah, maybe 18.
Um,
Actually, yeah, maybe 17. Yeah.
so how long until y'all got married?
Um,
Like you went out there and you were just like, wait, we're in love? Like, or did you already know that? Or
before before we got married, I had um this was what I was thinking. I thought I am not interested in getting married, like period. Um,
hmm,
but if I did get married, then I would marry this girl, you know. If I did get married, then this is a good girl. Particularly because she was so and is so still. It's outstanding. So faithful. I never understood. I mean, if I could, give you advice or anybody advice for marriage, if you're ever interested in that, particularly going into the future, just with the state of like um, relationships between people, um, they're being there's a lot more stress on them, I think, today than there was even last year. Um, but find somebody who's faithful, who will stand by you, like no matter what. Like that is honestly so much more valuable than anything else, and it's so attractive once you really have found it. At least for me, but I would say for anyone, like it's very, very, very important. Um, you want someone who cares about you, period, permanent, and that's it. Like it's just like they're not going anywhere. There were several times in my relationship with my wife where I'm not married to her. Okay, I'm not married to her. We're just friends. Um, and I'm just like, you can go. I've said that to her many times. I mean, people have like left me or whatever. She's seen people like betray me or something like that, and I'm just like, hey, you can go too. if you're interested, like if you were like thinking about leaving and then you like wanted to like, not be my friend or something like that, like I'll be okay. Like please do it now. Please do it like, quick and swift. It'll hurt less than this like long drawn out love game. Like, just leave. And she's just like, I'm not going anywhere. So
That's amazing. That's so cool. So, when did y'all get married? Do you know the date? It's
oh, January 1st is the day.
of 2019, 2018.
I don't know, man. Like I don't know about dates like that. Like
You're
people
good.
always ask me dates, and I'm like, definitely not 2019 because we've been married for like 3, 4 years. I don't know. I don't know
Wow,
if it's 3 or 4. It's three. It's 3 or 4. She knows. I don't know.
that's cool. We'll confirm it later.
Yeah.
Um, that's amazing. So then, when you moved to California, is that when you started putting out music again? Is that when you started getting more like it's time for me to do something? Because you've been creating the whole time, but you had obviously, I assume, hadn't been uploading stuff while you were living in the cave. So now that you're in California, is that when you were
California.
like starting to put stuff back on the internet and
Yeah,
working with
kind of.
the
I was.
public?
I was. I bought like a what is it? A Yeti microphone, like a USB mic and your computer. And I recorded some stuff in there, and I was using like Audacity, and I mean, it's all really bad, like in terms of like audio quality, like not even like a lo-fi aesthetic, like it was just like very poor quality. It sounded like I was recording on a ham and cheese sandwich. Um, and no offense to
Ham and cheese?
ham and cheese. I was gonna say Yeti microphones, but yeah, but yeah. um, anyways, yeah, I tried. I didn't try. I guess I didn't try that hard because if I really tried, then I would have bought Logic or Reaper, or invested in a computer. But I'm not a producer, or at least I don't think of myself as a producer. Um, I've produced, and I play a participating hand in like my mixing, but um, that's just not what I like to do. So yeah, I tried. I tried to do a little bit of music stuff, but I didn't like the way it sounded. Um, so I probably took it down.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
that's cool. So then, now, and I guess you were doing that up until really May. I mean, 2 months ago is when you put out, or, or however many, it was May 17th, I think, when you put out the first song on
February, March, April, May,
Spotify, something like
June,
that.
July, August.
Let's see. Yeah, May 8th, 2020 is when Love came out.
Cool. Um, yeah, I really like that too because I didn't do any promoting on purpose. Like I knew what I was doing. I guess this would happen. This would happen. Um, and maybe I've told you this story. I feel like I've told it a couple times, but not enough time for me to have a routine way of saying it. But basically, I'm in California. I'm loving God, loving art, and just loving life, right? Um, and I'm doing my thing when I play a little show at this nice venue around here, and I played really well. It was great, except for that they like didn't like any of my music and they didn't like me, and it was just embarrassing and sad. And as soon as I like finished playing, I basically just ran away.
Mm.
And I called my wife and I'm like, yeah, uh, yeah, I'm definitely done. Like, oh, done what? I'm done playing music. Like, I'm like, and kind of I didn't really believe that I could ever actually like stop because I feel like I would probably die or something. But I
Yeah.
knew I was done playing shows, which is one of the best parts about music, you know. Um, but I was like, I'm not. There's like I'm not. I don't even think I'm gonna show anybody. I'll just like play music and like maybe like play for my baby and just a kind of hidden talent nobody will ever. I'm gonna make it a hobby. Like I'm gonna purposely like make it a hobby. I am not putting myself out there again. And I mean,
Right.
maybe it sounds kind of silly, but I guess artists are can be sensitive or whatever. Point is, I was like, that was very uncomfortable, and I was not even. It was like I said, I played well, and and it was like so. I mean, life has enough pain, but I'm gonna what voluntarily add more pain by putting myself out there to play my songs, like songs I wrote, about my own heart. How vulnerable and foolish. No, no, no. I'm never doing anything like that again. I'm just gonna go away.
Totally.
Uh, as I'm saying this to my wife, um, somebody, his name's Logan. He's a good brother. He's like texting me all these like paragraphs trying to get me to play a show. Um,
Wow.
I don't see it until I drive to like some super Walmart and like I'm just like just trying to be like just get lost in the sauce and buy some Fujifilm and shoot myself. Um, but anyways, I'm on the phone and yeah, like he's blowing up my phone trying to get me to play this show, making me like an offer I can't refuse and sob story, it's Peruvian orphans, and it's acoustic, just so many things. But point is, um, when I saw the text and I didn't even know who the text was from, I didn't have the number in my phone. He's like, "Hey, I got your number from Daniel and da 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 da," and I see the messages and I say, I could either like go with my conscience and is that right? My conscience. Yeah, I could either go with my conscience and like play the show, or I could go with my word, keep my word, what I just said, right? And I could not play. And I'm telling you, if he would have messaged me like the next day, because I'm a man of my word, if he would have texted me the next day, I would have said, no, sorry, man, I don't really do that anymore.
Right.
But just because like he had messaged me at that precise moment, I was like, all right, I'll play the show. And I played the show. They loved me. I played another show. It's awesome. And yeah, um, yeah, that
That's
pretty
great.
much saved my music career. Because I was about to
Wow.
you were like this when this conversation wouldn't happen, nothing would. And now today, I have so many stories like that that now I've got enough. Like I look at Kanye West and I'm like he doesn't even know.
What do you mean?
I've just got a lot of confidence um and a lot of like determination and like yeah, I don't know. I don't mean to speak too darkly or even too much or make anybody sound bad, but there are people that don't have my best interest, and there are people who await my demise, and there's people who like want to fake friend me or whatever, or want to like steal my ideas or just all kinds of stuff. Okay, but it's just like it's not gonna happen. Like God's with me, and I'm with me, and it doesn't. Yeah, I'm
Wow.
no stains on me. I'm feeling good.
That's cool, man. That's amazing. You have such an awesome perspective, man, for real. Have you played a lot live? Like, did you
Not like you.
ever play live with Stray Kites or anything after that?
Um, no, I've played live um, since being in California a few times. Um, I'll like have a musician or a few musicians accompany me, um, or I'll just play alone.
That's right. You play on the streets.
Oh yeah, it's fun to busk. It's good to busk.
Yeah. Lately, it's looked like you've got some sort of community out there. Maybe you always have, but like I've been seeing on your Instagram, it looks like you've got a community of musicians that's kind of starting up. I'm starting to see like that,
You
at
t-
least from my.
Are you talking about the art house? Are you talking about Public Confession, or are you talking about what are you talking about?
I've just seen you post like in the last
Some of the
in
same people.
2020, just like with different people, like
Yeah,
working on music. It looks
yeah,
like, or like you're like in a room with amps, or you're like outside just jamming at
yeah.
with different people.
Um, I've got some creative friends. Lizzie's cool, obviously. David.
Who's
Um,
Lizzie?
Lizzie is she's a she's a gal I met out here, but she actually lives in Berlin. She's in here. She's been here for a bit of time, and we've just become really good friends.
She's still here.
Yeah, she's still with me. She's still with
Cool.
us, and yeah, she's a
That's awesome.
really great friend.
Has have you felt like there's been a lot of community where you're living? Do you feel like you're start like
There's a community. There already was. I definitely didn't like start a community. There's definitely like an artist community here. Um,
sure?
I don't I feel like there's like the Justice League, right? Yeah. I feel
Who's
like
that?
Batman. I feel like Batman.
What does
Or
that mean
like
in context of the Justice League?
he's in the Justice League. He's maybe even an essential member, but he is like not like the others. He doesn't have powers,
Hmm.
okay? He has a different personality. Things are darker there. It's just a different vibe. You have like the X-Men, right? And then you
Totally.
got like Wolverine, and it's like this guy like I don't even know if he's a villain. Um or like like what's up? And I'm not saying like I'm not like a villain or like trying to play both sides or anything like that. Um but yeah, I feel in and out. The other day I was at a party and it was a birthday party, but at the same time it was kind of like you know, if you're like if you're anybody, if you're like a local artist who's like legit, you're here. You're here, you know? So I came fashionably late and I come in and I'm like a foot taller than everybody. My my dark chocolate skin and I'm wearing a suit because I'm just coming from work. I just came straight from work.
That's
Um,
right. Work at
and
the funeral home.
yeah, I work at a funeral home. And I just walk in real conspicuous with my gift. And well, point is, I remember I'm telling you this because I remember being in that atmosphere and just kind of feeling like like that Radiohead song, like what the hell am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like and I was just there and I'm just thinking like I don't know. I'm a real private guy.
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
I'm an introvert. It takes work for me to talk to a couple people, to entertain people. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm not. I don't just shine when the spotlight's on. It's a conscious effort. I can do it, I think, but it's not. I'm not a natural. I think I am a natural one-on-one, but
Yeah.
that whole like party scene and everybody's in the pool and hee hee, I'm there. I'm there and I'm just like, you know, I
Just
want to play.
chilling.
I want to play guitar. I'm just like, yeah, or something. I'm just like looking at everybody. I'm just in the corner or whatever,
Yeah.
looking.
Well, I feel like the music scene is like getting involved with the scene is a pretty social experience. Like if you just really, really, truly just want to make music, um, being a musician is like tough. I mean, it's just especially like for me, like if you're touring all the time, so much of what I do is talking to people. It's hanging out before the show, hanging out before my set,
Yeah.
hanging out after the set, hanging out the after party. It's just making friends is a lot of it. So do you do you feel like you prefer? I don't know. Do you have dreams of like going on tour one day and performing? Or are you like, man, I could just make music and put it on Spotify for the rest of my life
Oh,
and just like make art and never need to like travel and tour like that.
oh, I like playing live, and I am excited to tour. Um, you know, bus busking, playing on the street. It's like its own kind of. It's just. I think it's more hardcore. It, there's more vulnerability, and we don't do it like scrubs. Okay, like we don't just come out there. Not no offense to anybody that does this, but we don't just like come out there with a guitar. We come out there with
Right.
like a mic and a guitar and like back of paintings that we're painting. Right there, and
Wow.
like we just basically start an art festival, spontaneous, like right there on the street, and like if you're in a beach town, anything goes. You know.
For real. Are you in a beach town?
Um. Yeah, technically, yeah.
That's cool. Wow, that's pretty dreamy. So I guess there's no chance you're gonna move to Nashville because you told me a couple years ago that you were thinking about moving to Nashville.
The reason what guides are my movement now is I guess it's the Holy Spirit, but um yeah, I don't want to talk about this. I'll just answer the question, or I want to answer you in a
Cool.
satisfying way. Um, in about a year, I might end up in Georgia, and that's all I'll say.
Cool. Well, I will. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
You two are there, huh?
Oh yeah, I love to play in Atlanta, in Athens, and Savannah a lot. I think those are the three. If I'm not forgetting anything, we like to play those a lot.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
and my family actually, if we ever go on vacation, it's always in North Georgia, just the
Okay.
mountains close to North Carolina. It's very beautiful. Um,
Nice.
and I mean, Savannah is like a beach town. So within Georgia, you've got so much, just so many beautiful. And Atlanta is like the biggest city in the southeast. I believe, unless it's Miami, it's a massive city. Um, so Georgia's amazing. It'd be, you know, just to leave it at it's a really cool place, and it'd be cool to meet you face to face one
It
day
has its merits. It's still Earth, though. I just got back from there, and yeah, my wife is still there. The baby's still there.
in Georgia.
Yeah, they're still there with their mommy and daddy.
I thought I thought mommy and daddy lived in with y'all. I thought everyone was in.
No, 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 not anymore. That was years ago. No,
Well,
her mom and dad live in Georgia now. Um,
oh, okay.
but
Well, where do you live?
I live in California.
I thought y'all lived with a big group of people or something.
No, no, I live. No, we don't. Um, right
Okay,
now, we just lived by ourselves. Nice house here. But
cool.
yeah, because of some things,
Sure.
uh, two of her sisters, two of my uh, sisters-in-law, uh, pretty girls. They live with us, and
And they're both pretty.
yeah, they're both pretty. Yeah.
Sounds like a lovely group.
Hmm.
Mm. I think you messaged me. It was April 11th, 2019. You sent me a link to a song and a video on Vimeo, and it was you playing a song called "Song for Ira,"
Yeah,
and you were inside of a hospital, and I my conclusion was that you and someone were having a baby, or you just had a close friend who was pregnant, and they asked you to come and play some music. But now, looking back, I realized that I was right with my first idea, that that was your child that was being
you're
born.
right with your first idea. That's my child that was born.
That's a really special video to make. That's really beautiful.
I hope to get some of that footage back. I made that video, and I guess it exists on the computer, but I kind of just made it in like a day. I had like never used iMovie before or anything, and I just had some footage, and I was just like, boop 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 boop,
Yeah.
and that's it. But
Wow, it's funny you say that because I mean it's such a beautiful piece, and it's like eternal to me, and it's or you know what I mean. Like I guess what I want to what I mean is me and my friend Nathaniel lately have been writing songs, and we'll make a demo every day before we finish. We make the demo um, before I leave, and when I listen to those demos, they almost feel finished to me, even though like when I first was making them, I was like, well, this song's nowhere near done, but sometimes if you can just make it even a fourth of the way done with something and you can make a demo, it's enough to like inspire you and keep that project and idea and dream alive, and sometimes even start falling in love with the things you didn't like at first. You're like, that actually is kind of cool how it sounds like
yes,
that or
it's
how that
quirky.
happens. Yeah, you fall in love with all the holes and all the mistakes, and um so I don't know, even though you made song for Ira this video, you made the
You trying to
video.
get me to upload that again? It's
um
not gonna happen. I'm
I
just
think I
kidding.
still I think I still have it. I might have a secret link. Yeah, I've still got a secret link.
No way.
Yeah, you want me to send it to you?
Please.
I got you, dog.
Thank you. I would love to see that. I haven't seen that. That's awesome. I want to send it to my wife too.
Oh, for sure.
Thank
I'm
you.
texting it to you right now.
Thank you. Um, yeah, that song's actually on the. I'm making an EP
Cool.
as we speak, and then tomorrow we're recording, tracking, mixing. The next day, tracking, mixing, recording. Um,
Like
I'm
right
making.
now?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Love and Woman aren't on it.
Okay.
Those are just singles. Those are just some music that I wanted to get out. But
Sure.
I kind of like a little bit more organized project. Um, just the EP. I have these songs. I want to put them out. I think they sound good together. Um, it's probably about 10 or 11 minutes runtime.
That's awesome.
5 songs.
That's
Maybe
big.
yeah, maybe like 13. Maybe like 13 minutes runtime. 5 songs.
Wow.
Um, and I'm going to, all God willing, I will uh, put it out in November. So every Saturday in November has 5 Saturdays. Um,
Whoa.
it also starts on a Saturday. So November 1st is a Saturday, and so every day, every Saturday, I'm gonna put up a song, and yeah, all the cover art will be complimentary. So that way, when we like go back years later or whatever, we can look back and like, oh, this is part of something bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's what I'm working on now. It's pretty
Wow.
exciting.
That's
My,
so exciting.
my point is, son of my, the song for Ira, right? Um, uh, I call it son of my father now, um, but that song is on the record. That's what I'm trying to communicate.
This is really exciting news.
It's a good one.
I'm so excited that you're putting out more music and that song's gonna be put out. That's really awesome.
I gotta actually, I'm gotta after the phone call, I'm gonna make some mix notes, because we're done tracking it. It's just a matter of like mixing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. So it'll for sure be done by November. I mean,
Oh
you're
yeah.
in the
Oh yeah.
process.
I'm yeah. I'm like 6 months ahead. Like I have like I don't even I'm not gonna tell you everything. I'm not gonna tell you everything. But
But
I'll tell
people
you
want to
that.
know.
I'll tell you that there is an EP coming in. I guess I guess technically December, but it'll be like
Cool.
bam, 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 and then
Is it
maybe
just
in
you?
December it'll all be. What's that?
Like, is there anyone else helping out with the recording process, or is it just? Are
Oh
you the
yeah,
only one laying down instruments?
I'm playing all the instruments except um so far on the record I'm playing all the instruments except on Son of My Father there's a saxophone and
Cool.
I don't play saxophone.
What about on Woman? There's some sort of wind instrument, right?
That's me. That's me.
Cool. Is it a flute or
Yeah, it's a flute. Yeah.
you play flute?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? That's
I
awesome.
dabble. Yeah. No, I play flute. Yeah, I've been playing flute since I was in Missouri actually.
Cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, well, a lot of my questions, I know I was kind of we've slowly kind of just worked through a lot of like your story from, I guess, high school to present in terms of like
Yeah.
music
Yeah.
and also about your family, like meeting your wife and your child. I know we have like a million things we could talk about, but and I hope that you can come back on here, like maybe whenever you put out the EP, we could talk again, maybe, or
Yeah,
like
that'd be cool. That'd be
sometime
cool.
if anytime you have something you like want to promote, you know, and just talk about anything. I mean, I have so many more things I want to talk to you about, but I did like this first time I've just spent so many years wanting to know so much more about your story. So I appreciate you, you know, coming on and talking a lot about like just right off the bat, a lot of like really cool and deep stuff and talking about your faith and talking about just, I don't know, cutting right to it with me. Like, I really appreciate that a lot.
Um, well, I definitely cherish our relationship. Um, I really care about you, and it's good.
I appreciate that a lot, man. I don't know what I've done to keep your attention. I am kind of curious. Is there like, how did you remember me? Because I've just been, to me, I was just been your fan for so many years, and I felt
That's
like you had a ton of fans with Stray Kites. So I was um, honored that you remembered me, I guess.
that. Well, that's it. It's I mean, like I said earlier. And I don't know. I'd hate to end here, but if that's the way how it ends, then that's the way how it ends. That's the way it's supposed to. But it's like I don't believe that other people care about other people, as much as they may seem like it. I don't think that they really care about people as much as even they think that they do. And that when times get hard, they don't. They don't really care. It doesn't
Mm.
matter. It doesn't matter that they're your wife. People divorce. Doesn't matter that they're your mom or your dad. They abandon their children. Um, and nobody really cares about their 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 fellow their fellow person, right?
Mm.
Um, God cares about you. I care about you, and people do. Some people do, but most people, like you can pretty, if you had to, gamble that they don't care. Maybe they do care, but that they will leave, in time. Um, and again, I don't hate people. It's not a trust issue. It's just like a acknowledgement of reality. You know,
Right.
people are kind of self-centered. People are, unreliable.
Yeah.
Um, and that being said, um, and I don't know, not everybody can relate to this, but you and I can, like, because we have fans, and it's like, wow, like even if it's a superficial level, um, depending on like the intensity of their fandom and what they are, if they're a fan of like say your music and your art, or they're just a fan of like you as a person. But my point is that just to have a fan is like it's like somebody really cares about me, like really, like I care about me, but you do too. Like, I mean, so maybe I don't know, maybe it's narcissistic. I don't want it to be like that. But it's like I'm touched. I'm like, wow. Um, yeah, I mean, I already cared about you, but it's like, oh, thank you. Um, and it's nothing that I take for granted, you know.
Yeah,
So,
that's cool, man. There's me and my friend Brendan, who's my like I've known him my whole life. He's my neighbor. They can almost I could walk over to his house right through this back door. Every time you do anything, I always text it to him anytime you put anything out, and we love keeping up. And it's been such an honor to get to know you a little bit more too. And I'm glad that you texted me. I don't know how you got my number, but back in 2018, I'm glad you texted me, and that we've been able to since then keeping a little bit better touch, and really even in the last year through like Instagram and
yeah.
just through you putting out music again. It's really exciting to like to have an active relationship and be able to support your music too. I really hope that we can find a way to hang out sometime. That'd be awesome.
Oh, I'm certain it'll happen
Me too.
in good time.
I'll be
Like
in any
why
city,
wouldn't it?
you know.
Yeah.
Like I will always tour. Well, I always say I'll always tour, and I never thought that this would happen. Like literally, an interview got published from like March 1st or something on YouTube last month, and I'm like in the interview, I'm like, I will always tour. Like nothing could ever stop my touring, even if no matter what life circumstance hits, like, and I had no idea that something could actually hit that would make it impossible for me to tour, because I
Mhm.
always thought it'd be my desires that would stop it. But like,
You can busk. What are you saying?
you're right. I can busk.
I'm not telling you to busk, but I'm just saying nobody's stopping you. Maybe busking's a little bit different over there. I don't know.
Downtown busking is pretty country, but you're right. I could busk, and it's not that's a great idea, and maybe I will because I really really miss performing.
Also gazebos, if you know any like just open parks where there's just a lawn, just a large enough piece of grass, just play loud.
Yeah.
People
Well,
come.
I've wanted to like go on tour and play in parks and like bring a little PA, but I'm afraid people will. I'm afraid that it will be seen as like unsafe, like because I'm like encouraging people to like go to an event, even if but everyone could social distance. So I feel like it's not up to me or what I think is like safe. It's
Mhm.
like what the public think. Like
Yeah.
the internet is such a crazy place now that I'm just so afraid always of being canceled. I'm so afraid of like doing something that makes me become virally hated.
Well, you're an emerging artist, so that's cool. It doesn't matter.
You don't think it matters? Like just whatever
It,
happens, happens.
it never mattered at all, but like I think it's cool. Like so I have a friend here, just a quick story. I have a friend here. His name's David. He actually produced Woman and Love, and he is producing the EP. Um, and David was getting made fun of because his Instagram name was producer Dave G. And so if you read it, it said producer Daveg. And so like Lizzie and other people were like putting on this like thick Armenian accent and like I am producer Daveg and like I will mix song for you and saying all this stuff and like just roasting him. And that stuff really starts to like build some uh momentum and like us artists like messing with him. Um, though I didn't do it personally. Okay, so nevertheless, he gets frustrated and changes his name um, to David Antonio Garcia, um, and I it was just it was such a stupid it was just a bad marketing move, um, because especially as an unknown um, producer, any attention is good attention. You can turn it for good.
Right.
These are people who are doing your advertising for you for free, getting that stuff out madly. And you know how many people like die for a meme like about them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine like an unknown rapper and like everybody just like makes a meme about him and the whole meme is about how like bad he raps, like how he can't stay on the beat. You know what? That's gonna like spread wide, and people are gonna be listening to like this person who can't stay on the beat, and some of those people are gonna say like, no, this bumps.
Right.
Gonna say like, no, like he is on the beat, like this knocks, like this is a good song, and those are so many people that he wouldn't have gotten he wouldn't have he wouldn't have gotten the real estate of their minds and their
So true.
if he hadn't have been put in that position. And I was just like so sad. I'm like looking at this and I'm just like, really? You know how many producers named David there are? Like that's pathetic. Like you had like you know how many Davegs there are?
Right.
Zero. Zero. You should have just ran with it. You know what I mean? If you're
Yeah.
like if you're a metal artist and what I'm telling you right now is like marketing gold. Like if they're like a metal artist and like some someone's calling me, but I bet probably not important. I just want to look.
You're good.
Um,
Never know who it could be.
oh, not important. Sorry.
That is
Um,
marketing gold.
yeah, if you're like, I was saying, if like hypothetically you're a metal artist, maybe let's call your band. Uh, what is that one? Cthulhu. Um, so you're in your band called Cthulhu, right? And then like some like uh conservative radio station guy just goes on this 15-minute rant about how like satanic metal music is, and especially like bands like Cthulhu, and it's just and you should never listen to this music because it's the worst thing, and blah 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 blah. Like you won. That's what you want. You're an emerging artist. Like you just take that and you cut that in your song, and like dude, like that you got a hit. Like that was free marketing. That was free advertisement. Like
That's a really good point.
and like you just run with it, and it's just called being creative. Like
Yeah. It's kind of that like all press is good press or whatever. Something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, look at Kanye West. I know people like
Oh
want to make
man.
fun. They want to make fun of everybody they're jealous of, but you know how many times this guy like basically ruined his career, or something happened in his life that would have ruined it externally, and he just ran with it.
So true.
You know why he looks like he always has a full mouth full of big league chew? You know why?
Why?
Because he was in a car accident
Oh, right. That's right. Because he has that song where he raps with his through the wire.
with his mouth completely wired shut. He rapped that song. He wrote that song 2 days after he was in a tragic car accident. He doesn't even have an album yet. He's trying to come up, and literally he was a producer before. He was a producer and even a well sought out producer, and he wants to become a rapper. Nobody wants him to become a rapper. None of the rappers want him to become a rapper. Nobody thinks he can rap. Nobody wants him doing that, and they say he can't do that, and he is determined to do it. And then he gets in a car accident where his jaw is in his throat. He can't even talk. His entire face is busted. he could have said like clearly God doesn't want me to rap.
Yeah.
He's like, no, clearly God wants me to make a hit about determination and self believing in yourself, and I'm gonna do it anyways. That's called faith. That's called confidence, you know.
Yeah.
And saying on public television, George Bush doesn't care about black people. Yeah,
Right.
and so many other times. The thing with Taylor Swift, so many times in his life. I'm just talking about him because he's someone who's gotten a lot of attention
Totally.
and even negative attention, and maybe people hate him, who don't know him personally, which is how can you hate somebody you don't know? Um, but nevertheless, um, my point is that he's been able to take bad situations, horrible situations. People want to kill him in the media, in real life, blah blah blah, and turn them into positive situations.
Right.
And that's called ingenuity. That's called creativity. And It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what cards you're dealt. You can make it happen.
I think it's very true, man. I've definitely seen that happening for the last few years with artists who believe in themselves or just believe in their message, and you know, there really is something to be said about like what you choose to say and what you choose to believe. Like if you get up every day and you just think about how everything's going wrong, you can really live in that. Like there's a lot to be, right now for, I'd say anyone has a lot to be down about, but
Yeah.
when you can wake up and be like, and like for you and for me, it's like, well, everyone finds their confidence in different things, but I think like, especially when you can find that confidence in something beyond you, like when you find it through, not through your own ego, like your own arrogance or pride, but it's just like in just acknowledging the gifts you have and how you can use them for a greater good.
Yeah.
It's like, then it's just unstoppable because we're stoppable, but when it's that light, the light is unstoppable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's no reason to ever like doubt that.
No. No.
You inspire me with your faith and with your story, and I have always believed in you endlessly, and over the last like couple of years and even the last year it's grown even stronger. So
Thank
I'm
you.
really I'm really stoked to hear this EP and to just watch what happens. Do you are you planning on you're gonna keep creating forever? Yeah, you're just gonna.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you feel like it's gonna take off, if you don't mind me asking? Because I feel like it is, and I know you have confidence.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, whenever you're ready, let's get you, and whenever it's safe or whatever, let's get you a show in Nashville or whatever you want. If you ever want to come hang out here,
Okay.
if you ever need help, if you don't have a booking agent by the time you're ready to tour, that's why I do the DIY stuff. So I love, helping people put tours together. So
I yeah, that'd be cool. Could I play with you or something? Because I think it's always cool with a live band, I mean, if you think it's possible, I know we play different kind of music, Maybe you know someone though,
you mean
who's competent.
you would want us to play our us to plan a bill together, or are you saying you'd want me and my band to back you up?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I was saying. Just
Oh,
like hypothetically,
yes. If you came,
what would you think about that?
I think hypothetically, I mean, yeah, whatever. I think that would be super cool. We would love to learn your music and
Cool.
play a set. That'd be sick. We could come down and we could practice and book a gig in Nashville or something, and then play a full band set or something.
Even if it was just once upon a time, I think it'd be really lush. It'd be a lot of fun. Be cool to. It'd be yeah. It would be. I think an uh, important time. Beautiful and important.
Totally. I've got a whole family of musicians down here who plan each other's stuff, and we just I don't know, my friends down here, it's a really special crew, and I know that they would love to do that, and I'd love to do that too. And
That's cool.
it would sound really good because they're the best. They're so talented. I'm really blessed to be around them. So
Tell me some of them, whether they see this or not. Pretend like they'll never see this. So I'm saying that if you leave somebody out, don't be afraid to leave somebody out. Okay,
sure.
don't just tell me somebody who I'm gonna listen to and say like, nah.
Well, I've
Tell me,
got a
I got pen and pad, pencil and paper. You tell me
okay,
who's ones to watch.
like
Nordista
art,
Freeze was
like
one.
artists to watch.
Yeah, Nordista Freeze ones to watch.
Ooh, that is a good question. Okay, well, I can let me name just I'll name a few that I just have lately been really really believing in.
Okay.
Um, so I'm gonna specifically talk about my band. Like
Hmm.
these people are in my band, but they have music as well. S. Grant Parker.
Yeah.
You probably saw him. He was the first one I interviewed for this whole series. Um, he's an unbelievably talented songwriter, and we've been friends since fifth grade. And he's just making really really cool like kind of bedroom
Okay.
acoustic pop. And then
I think I saw one of his promo videos. It
yeah,
was like
you commented on it.
it was like it was like a Mr. Rogers spoof kind of thing.
Huh,
Was
maybe
that
so.
was that him? He was like, "It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood," and he like walks in and like puts his like skateboard on the wall, and it just like falls over, and then like picks up like a camera, like a that wasn't maybe it wasn't him.
I don't know if that's him. I know that my friend who runs Birds Aren't Real did one of those. Do you follow Birds Aren't Real?
No, is that like a? I've seen that on some shirts.
Yes, dude.
I never really understood that.
That is one of my friends who I guess I should remain nameless because he's still he's Birds Aren't Real. I can't remember what he
Okay.
goes by on the social media,
Okay.
but he's starting a movement. Anyway, I know he made a Mr. Rogers spoof, but I don't know who you're talking about. I don't think it was Grant.
Okay.
I will also
Uh,
shout out Future Crib. That's like a band that I have gone on tour with multiple times. Like they've been my backing band, and then they'll play their own set. Just an amazing unit of just an amazing team. There's like Johnny, Bryce, and Julia, and George, and Noah, and all five of them. They're just so talented. Um, and then also my buddy who plays with me a lot is Z Swan. He's put out a few singles and some EPs within the last few years. He's one of the most amazing songwriters I've ever met. Like
Say his name again.
Z just goes by the letter Z,
Okay.
and the last name is Swan with two N's.
Cool.
Yeah, and I think that I'm trying to think about of my like particular the people that come out on tour with me. Um, if there's anyone else, somebody who's recently begun touring with me is a guy named Goots Guterman, and he has a project called Crumb Snatcher.
Okay. So, tell me how to spell that.
It's like a mouse that snatches crumbs, crumb snatchers,
Okay.
and he's working on some new music, and it
Okay.
is so good. So I think of like the people that have been going on tour with me recently. Those are some people who are just doing really cool stuff and just making their own music that's just amazing. But man, if you want to get into like Nashville artists, I could talk forever. That's part of why I started this thing because I've just met so many incredible people with incredible visions. Um, Here, being born and raised in Nashville, and just slowly getting involved with the music scene. It's a special place.
Good.
And really through, I'll say this too, through touring, it used to just be Nashville, but now it's like I know cool bands that I believe in and artists like all across the country, which is, and sometimes partly the world, which is really cool. That's why I love touring so much, is meeting other creatives and getting to like play shows with them. So yeah, that's why this exists. That's why I want like this show, just to like highlight people and have conversations with just brilliant people like you.
Super good. Um, cool. Do you think that's a comfortable place to end this?
I
To
think
round it out?
so.
Okay.
I think we could talk forever, but we'll leave some for next time. Because we've got a lot more to talk about. But I think this might be a good place to call it for today.
All right.
If you feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you have another a question that's like burning in your heart, or you want to slip something in. I don't have anything else to say. Um, order the record through the Bandcamp, so I can get that to you. You know,
Yes,
I want to get it to you, like particularly. Um,
I will.
but that's
And for everyone listening, I guess just they should follow you on Instagram, Spotify. Those are some channels you use, yeah?
yeah. I'm definitely on both of those platforms. Yeah.
I would encourage them to follow you. Um, and to, I guess listen to the 2 songs and then
Yeah.
get stoked for November.
If you're a friend, like, um, I don't know how to, sorry, I was gonna say something.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna say something like, you know, I don't know. So friends don't let friends sleep on good artists.
Right.
Okay. Right. You don't just like, there's some people they know this niche artist and they're like, wow, this is good stuff. And they just
Yeah.
hold it to themselves and it's like, I'm gonna play this in the car and it's gonna be awesome, and they're just gonna be next to me and be like, who's this? And you wouldn't know. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, for real. I totally agree. True friends got to spread the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, for sure. Well, that's cool. I hope everybody gives it a listen and stays follows you to stay in touch so they can keep up and check out these new songs when they come out because I'm really excited for that. Thank you for being a part of this.
It's gonna be awesome.
Thanks for spending
They're
time
great
with
songs.
me.
Yeah, it's been awesome, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk to you soon. And thank
Yeah.
you very much for sending me the that link, that secret link to um, really a demo of that song and the video. So cool, like so cool. Thank you.
It is so crazy. Yeah, I'm glad I could do it for sure. Glad I could help do my part.
Yeah. All right.
Till
Have a
next
good
time.
one. Bye.
Peace out, man.